In football, skill and hard work are important, but sometimes luck plays an even bigger role. Some players seem to always be at the right place at the right time, while others keep running into unfortunate situations again and again. Over the years, we've seen talented players miss out on huge opportunities by the smallest margins. But instead of looking back, today we're focusing on this season, highlighting players who've had everything go against them despite their efforts. These are 7 footballers who have been extremely unlucky this campaign. Let's start with Patrick Dorgu. After arriving at Manchester United, he was mainly used in a defensive wide role, but once the coaching change happened, his position was pushed further up the pitch due to a lack of attacking options on the left side. Surprisingly, he adapted quickly. In fact, he made a huge impact almost immediately, scoring in back-to-back matches against top teams. It looked like he had finally found his breakthrough moment. Everything was falling into place until it suddenly wasn't. Right after delivering a standout performance, he suffered a hamstring injury that completely stopped his progress. Since then, another player has stepped in and done well enough to hold on to that position.
I'm happy to be one of the players of United now.
Now, even when he recovers, there's a real possibility that he won't get the same chances again, and that's what makes it so unfortunate.
100%. We got a lot of important players out, and we stuck together as a team and worked really hard, and yeah, I'm pleased with that.
It felt like he was just getting started. Next is Marc-André Stegen. For a long time, he had to stay patient, waiting behind Germany's first-choice goalkeeper.
It's German goalkeeper is right at the top of his game, Marc-André ter Stegen.
Year after year, he remained consistent at club level, hoping his opportunity would eventually come. And finally, it seemed like that moment had arrived. With the next World Cup approaching, everything pointed toward him becoming the main goalkeeper for his country. But then, injuries changed everything.
Injury, you always suffer. But it was a 7 month that was very complicated in general.
He missed a big part of the season early on, and when he tried to return and get more game time elsewhere, another setback followed almost immediately. Now, with limited appearances and fitness concerns, his chances of securing that long-awaited role are slipping away, and given his age, this might have been one of his last big opportunities. Moving on to Jack Grealish.
No, I've always had big calves for my whole life. I don't know why. I got an orange BMX.
At the beginning of the season, he looked like a completely transformed player after making a move away from his previous club. He was creating chances, picking up assists, and playing with confidence again. He even won a monthly award and quickly became one of the standout performers in his team. There was growing belief that he could force his way back into the national team picture. But then, everything changed in an instant. An injury in the middle of the season required surgery.
Jack Grealish straight back into the starting lineup this afternoon,
effectively ending his campaign. Just like that, all the progress he had made was gone. Not only did it affect his current form, but it also reduced his chances of earning a big move in the future. If things had gone differently, he might have been one of the most in-demand players this summer. Now let's talk about Nwaneri.
And the young man steps effortlessly forward into the limelight once again.
He came into the season with high expectations, but due to the club focusing on experienced players, his opportunities were limited. Looking for regular minutes, he decided to go out on loan to a team where he could develop under a manager known for trusting young players. But things didn't go as planned. Shortly after his arrival, the manager he joined for left the club. At the same time, injuries back at his parent club created openings that he could have taken advantage of, but he was no longer there. Now, he's stuck in a difficult situation where he's not getting consistent game time. And to make matters worse, he had a painful moment in a penalty shootout that added even more pressure on him. It's just been one of those seasons where nothing seems to go his way. Another player who has struggled with bad luck is Rodrygo. His season hasn't been smooth, especially when it comes to consistency in front of goal. However, there was a period where he started to regain his form and contributed heavily in a short run of games. It looked like he had turned a corner, but unfortunately, that momentum didn't last. An injury interrupted his progress, and just when he returned and made an impact, he suffered a serious knee injury that ended his season entirely. That moment not only ruined his campaign, but also ended any hopes of playing in the upcoming World Cup. It's a tough situation, especially considering how close he was to finishing strong. Now, let's move on to Paul Pogba.
When there is money, you have to be careful. Money changes people.
After a long suspension, he finally made his return to professional football. It was an emotional comeback, and many people were hoping to see him rediscover his best form. But things haven't been smooth at all. Because of the long time away from the game, he needed to slowly build his fitness. However, just as he started to get minutes, injuries began to interrupt his progress. Every time it seemed like he was getting closer to full fitness, another setback followed. At one point, there was real hope that he could push for a return to the national team, but now those chances look very slim, and there are even concerns about how much longer he can continue playing at this level. Finally, let's talk about Michail Antonio. The past year has been incredibly difficult for him. After suffering a serious accident, his career took a major hit. He worked hard to recover and tried to get back into professional football, training with different clubs in hopes of earning another opportunity. There were moments where a comeback looked very close. At one stage, he was just about to secure a move that would have brought him back to top-level football. But once again, bad luck struck. Right before completing the deal, he picked up another injury, causing everything to fall apart at the last second. It was a heartbreaking moment, especially considering how close he was to making a return. In the end, he had to take a different path and continue his career outside of England, starting a new chapter elsewhere. So yeah, while some players struggle with form, others simply can't catch a break. And this season, these players have experienced exactly that. But what do you think? Which one of them has had the worst luck this season? And is there anyone else you think should be on this list? Let me know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future content. See you in the next one.